Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the First News newspaper. The major story here says Tinubu didn't need 25% of FCT votes to win presidential poll. INEC tells Atiku. Says APC candidate met all legal requirements to be declared winner. FCT not accorded special status in constitution. All right, those are the riders following the major story there on the front page of the First News newspaper. We'll move now to the front page of the Daily Sun, and the major story here says 25% FCT votes not needed to win presidency. INEC tells Tribunal it can declare winner without recourse to Beaver's electronic transmission. Others. All the details on the front page of the Daily Sun. And to the front page of the Nation newspaper now. Obi lacks right to contest my victory, Tinubu tells Tribunal. Obi lacks right to contest my victory, Tinubu tells Tribunal. You find all the details on the front page of the Nation newspaper and to the front page of the Daily Trust. 48 hours to go. Anxiety in Adamawa, Kebbi, others ahead supplementary polls. 36,935 voters to determine Fintiri Binani's fate. 94,209 to decide Bagudu's successor. Wamako, Tambuwal, Marafa, Bilbis, others in final battle for Senate. I expect seamless election process, the police is saying. Mike?
All right, I have the business day here, and it says Senate presidency raise stokes Muslim ticket concerns. Senate presidency race stokes Muslim ticket concerns. That's the story on the front page of the business day. From there, let's go to Leadership newspaper. Leadership says, amid renewed attacks, villagers mobilize, kill 50 bandits in self-defense. As terrorists kill 20, abduct 32 in Niger, Kaduna. We abandoned the bodies in Kenji National Park. That's what the Leadership newspaper has. From there, let's go to This Nigeria. This Nigeria says, sad tale as 7-story building collapses in Banana Island. 7 rescued, 1 missing as Lagos order probe. That's This Day newspaper. From there, let's go to Nigeria News Direct. Nigeria News Direct. And it says a 400 billion naira poverty alleviation fund implementation gobbled 50 billion naira. Steering committee is saying this. Out of 400 billion naira poverty alleviation funds, implementation of the fund gobbled 50 billion naira. All right, performance low, not where we expected it to be. Sule is saying this. All right, that's what the News Direct has. Daily Independent is the last one we're looking at now. And it says IMF OK's tight fiscal policy increased tax for Nigeria. IMF OK's tight fiscal policy increased tax for Nigeria. Warns rising interest rates could trigger global recession. All right. You see this on the front page of the Daily Independent. Veronica?
All right, gentlemen, let's look at this story on the front page of this Nigeria newspaper. Another sad tale with regards to a building collapse in Lagos. A 7-story building being constructed somewhere on Banana Island collapsed yesterday. And the report is that the workers were on the 6th floor when this incident happened, although about 7 persons have been said to have been rescued with varying degrees of injuries. 1 person is still being searched for within that building. The other workers were able to escape when the building collapsed. And some reports, I tried digging deep to find the number of building collapse that we have recorded in the past 10 years. And according to a Building Collapse Prevention Guild, Lagos State has recorded 115 in the last 10 years. And just in 2022 alone, we have recorded 20. And now another incident, Sam.
It's very sad that we have to wait for another incident of this sort to happen, almost as if we are waiting for the next building to come down. Whether it's a two-story building, whether it's eight-story building, it is a reflection of lack of attention to detail by building construction experts, and the fact that I want to get things done in a hurry. I always say that the difference between we here and Western countries is that they pay attention to every needle. They make sure that we're going to get things done. You make sure every part of it, every part of the puzzle is taken care of, no matter how long it takes. But we don't do that here. We think that we can just gloss over things, and just that little thing you gloss over will be responsible for colossal tragedies, like we saw the other one in Ikoyi. We have seen quite a few since then. Collapse in different places. This one is drawing a lot of attention. One, because it is a 7-story building, and because it's in one of the richest neighborhoods in the country. You know, that itself is terrible. You know, it's one thing to appoint for the state government to appoint people to do their job, and it's another thing for those people to do the jobs they have asked you to do. Because, you know, they say that I can look for a job for you, but I'm not going to do the job for you. The governor is not going to be there to tell you, okay, have they supplied enough cement? Do they have the right specs of cement? Is this fake? Or do they have enough rod? They can't go there and start telling you. They're giving you the job, do it. And do it well. And don't allow people to say, okay, I know the owner of that place, and you know, he's a nice guy, I like him. You know, he attended my child's birthday party. It has nothing to do with anything. A job is supposed to be done. A job is supposed to be done. The tragedies are really terrible that come out of it. The happy thing about this one is that it doesn't seem that we have this expectation of heads rolling in the place, of people dying and lots of people trapped inside and unable to be rescued. This is actually an act of grace.
Right. Now, the Lagos State Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development is saying that no approval was given for the construction of that building, and one wonders again, how is it that we have gotten to this point again, looking at the situation we had in Ikoyi, where it was also said there was no approval given? How is it that these people are bypassing the government to carry out this kind of construction?
It remains an indictment on them.
Right.
If they say, we didn't approve, you didn't approve, but this building has been rising to the level where it got to the 7th-story building, or 7th-story level.
Yeah.
So or 7th floor, as the case may be. So the point there is, do we wait and then allow people to build structures where they are not supposed to build structures before we come and say, no, this is not approved? When they started the structure and you knew from the plan that a structure of this nature is not supposed to be here, you should have raised alarm, or you should have apprehended or gone to arrest or gone to stop the building in the first place. Of course, a 7-story building didn't start last month.
No.
It must have started months ago, sometime last year. So the point there is, if the building, the planning, regulatory, or whatever, comes to say, okay, we didn't have, it's still an indictment on them.
Yeah.
And that's what every Lagosian is saying. The point there is that at what point do you carry surveillance? Because you're supposed to know your terrain. Lagos State is your jurisdiction. The point there is, you come to work every morning, you're supposed to drive around town, see what is going on. That is what, that's how in the Western countries where Sam just mentioned, that's how they keep vigilance. What is going on here? Okay, this building has been here, this building, you have to know. You must be in charge of your terrain every single time, especially areas where development is going on. You have to know buildings that are approved. You cannot cite a 2, 3, 4, 5-story building anywhere without approval.
Of course.
Because it's a security risk to anyone.
Even a one-story.
Even a one-story building, you cannot do that without getting approval.
That's why I say that it's one thing for the governor to appoint somebody. Is the governor will not go and do your job. You don't expect the governor to start moving from street to street.
Exactly.
To start looking for which one
Who's
got
constructing
approval.
something.
Which one is not.
Exactly.
So when they give you job to do, they fired somebody the other day.
Yeah.
And that one has not even told them in the Ministry of Physical Planning to say, okay, now that somebody has been let go, let us face our business seriously. Maybe they need to fire somebody again.
But how many firings will happen?
do?
How many firings will the government do?
If it's not changing,
so the issue there
on?
is something drastic has to happen, because this one we lose 1, 2, 3 persons or even more than that.
Even one person.
Even one person is bad enough.
Yes.
Injuries are even bad enough. But the point there is ultimately it gives Lagos a bad name. Because if buildings are collapsing in Lagos here and there, of course there are people who are thinking of investing in Lagos. So when they come and they feel Lagos, where buildings collapse anyhow, as the case may be, it makes people to stay away. So the point there is that when Lagos is trying to,
Are we not happy?
create...
Are we not happy that that this thing happened while the thing is under construction?
Exactly. What if you had finished construction?
What if all of them are inside?
Exactly.
You're having dinner. You have dodo here. You have rice here.
Still, it's
and then
unfortunate.
you not add your first bite, and then
the building is collapsing.
And crack. And you think that maybe it's your fork that's making noise with the plate, and then hear it again.
All right, we need to go now.
The way Sam pictures all of this food there is amazing. It's amazing.
All right, we have to leave the conversation here now, gentlemen. But coming up on TVC Breakfast.